Just to get back to where it was December 1st, that would be a 66% increase. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. A little bit about myself. I have a background in accounting. I was a CPA. I've been working with numbers for 30 plus years. I've also been trading as a retail investor for the last few decades. So I'm just trying to share some of my experiences with you guys and see if we can make some money along the way. If you enjoy content on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners, we cover that a lot on this channel. So please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel, and you can hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a video. Today, I want to do a video on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Today was a rough day with the Bitcoin miners. It was a rough day with the equities overall. So I want to talk about that and go through a few miners in specific and let you guys know what I'm thinking about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. I also want to mention we have a free Discord. I'm going to put a link down below for the Discord. We have over 100 people now, so it's starting to be a really good conversation with everybody. So I encourage everybody to sign up for the Discord. And again, the entry level is free, so all are welcome, and we would love to hear your voice. With that said, let's talk about what happened today in the market, specifically with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So the S&P 500 was down 0.87% today. So that was a red day for the S&P 500. The NASDAQ was down 2.47%, which was an extremely red day for the NASDAQ. That was a big drag on the market. And the Russell 2000 was down 1.95%. So almost 2% there. So the market got beat up today. Yesterday, the market had kind of a strange and positive reaction to what the Fed had to say. So there was a very strong afternoon rally. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, and I believe we gave it all back today and then some. So, a lot of this is short-term stuff, but one of the important things to remember, I talk about the Bitcoin miners a lot, and we talk about it in relationship to Bitcoin and Bitcoin's activity on the day. These miners are all equity companies. So when the market gets dragged down like this, and this is a very big down day, 2% is a lot for these major indexes to go down. So I just want to remind everybody, one of the things you got to remember on these days, because today seemed absolutely awful if you were following the Bitcoin miners. One of the things you got to keep in mind is what's happening in the market, because unfortunately we are definitely still tethered to the market. Bitcoin still has a strong correlation to the market, and then obviously it's a double whammy because the Bitcoin miners are equities, so they will get dragged down as well. And that really is what happened today. Let's go look at what happened to the miners today, but you're going to see today was a disproportionately red day based on the activity in Bitcoin. So right now, as I'm making this video, it's around 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time Thursday night. And Bitcoin is sitting at $47,845. I'm just going to show you the list and run down the list of what happened to the miners today, because you're going to see Bitcoin itself on the day today is up 0.47%. It had a kind of a sideways day, but when you look and see what happened to the miners, it was a train wreck. So I'm just going to run through them quickly. Bitfarms was down almost 6%. Cleanspark was down 7.5%. HUT was down 7.75%. Hive was down 7%. Riot was down about 7.75%. Marathon was down over 8%. Argo was down over 5%. Cypher was down 3.7%. Bit Digital was down about 4.5%. DigiHost was down 7%. Any was down 7%. And GREE was down 4.75%. That's my short list that I keep track of Bitcoin miners. I think it's about 10 or 15 miners. There's a bunch more publicly traded miners past that, though that is my list that I keep track of. So for me, on my list today, everything was very, very red, ranging from about 3.5% all the way up to 8%. And most things were 6 or 7 or 8% down on the day today. But if you look at Bitcoin, let's take a look at the chart. So there's 3 green dots that I put on this chart. This green circle right here was on Monday at 3 p.m. So you can see this was kind of the low for the week, and it hit it 3 times. So Monday at about 3 p.m., we were at somewhere around 46,700. This is Tuesday at 1 p.m. We were right back in the same place. This was yesterday, Wednesday, at around 11 o'clock in the morning, and we were right back in the same spot. Starting at around 11 o'clock yesterday, you're going to see we had a huge rally for the rest of the trading day. So this was basically straight up for the next 5 hours. And from the bottom to the top of this was over 5%. So that was a very nice, strong rally yesterday afternoon. For Bitcoin, it actually started before the Fed spoke. The equities went crazy at about 2 o'clock when the Fed notes were released. Bitcoin was already on a roll at that point. Between Bitcoin being on a roll and then the equities going on a roll, there was a huge rally in all of the Bitcoin miners yesterday afternoon. So there was a run up that maybe got ahead of itself, and today you'll see a huge pullback based on the tough day in the equities today. So this candle right here was the close of the day yesterday. So we kind of closed at the highs yesterday. We were somewhere at about 49,400 at around 4 o'clock yesterday. From where we were there, we went sideways kind of overnight. This right here is 6 o'clock in the morning. From 6 in the morning Eastern Standard Time until about 7 o'clock tonight, we basically did the opposite. We kind of went down in a straight line here for about 12 or 13 hours. Even with this slow trickle down all day, we still did not get back to where we were yesterday at 11 in the morning. So to have a gigantic red day across the board like this was very disproportionate based on Bitcoin's activity. So again, it very much had to do with the market. So I just want to reiterate, this is a part of the hard part of trading the Bitcoin miners. There's a few things that go on. Number one, they're a leveraged play on Bitcoin. So whatever Bitcoin does, the miners are likely to have an exaggerated effect in comparison to begin with. In addition to that, there's another giant variable, and that is if the equities market is having a good day or a bad day, that is going to affect the miners as well. You know, a third variable is what volatility is doing at any given time. So there's a lot of things that are affecting what's going on with these miners. So some days you can scratch your head and just really say, what happened today? Why were we down 7% across the board on a day where we finished higher today than we were in the middle of the trading day yesterday? So if I go from 11 o'clock yesterday until right now, we're up over 2%. So, you know, this was not a bad day for Bitcoin. I'm going to move out to the 4-hour chart because I want to take a little bigger picture standpoint. So this is the exact same chart. Here's our 3 green circles right here. They're a little smaller now. This day right here was December 3rd. So this was our flash crash. So you can see from top to bottom, that was over 26% in one day. Now, we recovered a bunch of that in that day. We didn't finish at our all-time low. You know, it was still a 19 or 20% correction in one day. So that was a pretty heavy correction. Since that day, we have been stuck in a range. I have a blue line at about $46,900, but in reality, you'll see all 3 of these points got a little bit below that line. So you can see we've been stuck somewhere between 46,700, and I'm going to move this line right here. I had a line at 50,000, but in reality, if I move this line up to here, you'll see that at the top of this range, on December 6th, we were somewhere around $51,000. Then again, on December 7th, we were at about $51,000. On December 12th, again, we pretty much tested this $51,000 mark. So we have been stuck at or under 51,000. So our trading range is about $46,700 to $51,000. And over the last 3 days, it's even been tighter than that. We haven't really gotten over 49,500. So this range keeps narrowing and narrowing. However, we don't seem to be leaving this range on either side. So for me, the way that I am playing this is I'm not making a lot of moves. I did yesterday at the very bottom here when we hit this bottom a third time. I did make some purchases because I thought that represented a short-term bottom, but you can see we are still very much stuck in this range. If I zoom back in, so this is the last 4 days. I mean, we hit this bottom, we hit it again, we hit it again. We had a nice run up, went sideways, and now it looks like we're heading back down towards it. So I don't know that we're going to get back down here again, but it certainly wouldn't be unreasonable to think that we're going to retest this spot. We hit it once, twice, 3 times. Until we move outside of one of these lines, I am going to say that we are trading very sideways. So for me, I'm going to be very stingy with what I buy, because what I don't want to do is keep buying the same thing on every dip, because I've already bought at this price. So even if we get down here again, I'm probably not going to buy too much. So I'm going to be in a little bit of a holding pattern until we break one way or the other. I have a lot of indicators that I follow that seem to be indicating that we are going to break to the upside. But I will tell you, we have been fooled time and time again. The last month has been very tricky. So I don't want to call a bottom. I'm not ready to say we're about to break out to the top side right now. I think we are trading in a very tight range. And for as long as we're doing so, I am just going to remain calm and watch the ebbs and flows and wait until we break one way or the other. I want to take a look at a few stocks in specific and show you what I'm thinking about them. Okay, the first stock is Marathon Digital. Marathon Digital has been beaten up badly. They've had a lot of different news going on. However, I see some signs that Marathon is moving back in the right direction. Now, they are going to have to prove themselves. Fortunately, as a function of the fact that they have their own pool, it's easy to see what they're actually doing on a day-to-day basis. So, it'd be nice to see a full month and see them back on track. If they can do that and they continue to trend the way they've been for the last few weeks, if you look at what Marathon is doing, I mean, it's at $35.52 right now. Just to get back to where it was December 1st, that would be a 66% increase in the price. So that's only 2 weeks worth of activity. We just need to get back to where we were 2 weeks ago. Now that is December 1st. That's a couple of days before the flash crash. Marathon on November 9th, which again was just 5 weeks ago, was 132% higher than it is right now. So I don't know. That could take a week, a month, several months. It's hard to say, but this upside is definitely legitimate. Again, this is not financial advice. You guys have to decide what you're going to invest in and when you're going to invest in it. But these are just the facts of what happened. This thing could go up 132% just to get back to where it was 5 weeks ago. Next one I'm going to look at is HUT 8. HUT 8 is also down quite a bit. Just to get from where we are today back to pre-flash crash on December 3rd, which was just less than 2 weeks ago, there's almost 35% upside in HUT 8 just to get back to where they were 2 weeks ago. So that is a significant upside. To get back to their high on November 29th, which really was less than 3 weeks ago, that would be a 67% increase in the stock. Assumably, Bitcoin would have to go on a bull run and start to test its all-time highs again in order for it to get all the way back to here. But you can see there's somewhere between 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% potential return in a short window of time on HUT 8 if Bitcoin gets healthy. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. I will probably do an update tomorrow based on what's happening overnight. We seem to be at a tipping point one way or the other. So until we break one way or the other, I'm going to try and stay up to date with you guys on this. Again, you can check the free Discord, the link below. And thanks so much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.